No.
Really?
I do not think so. One, because, first of all, I see no way Denver is even entertaining a trade unless he actually demands it.
Yeah, right. So you don't think there's any chance he demands it?
I don't think he'll demand it because I haven't seen anything from him to say he'll demand a trade. And let's look at some of the great European players of recent memory. Dirk, Tony Parker, Giannis, Luka. None of them, now Luka got traded against his will, but none of them, and I know Giannis has made a little noise, but the bottom line is they all have been content to stay in the one place they were drafted. So I see nothing from Jokic to tell me that he wants out of Denver. Now, maybe if they continue to not put stuff around him, but I think this is a wake-up call that we're going for it. They could have kept Michael Malone and Calvin Booth and been good. But if the goal is to be great and get back to winning championships, I don't think Luka's going to want out at all.
Listen, Tony Parker, drafted by the Spurs, he had Tim Duncan with him the whole time. It wasn't a lot of an argument. You guys aren't doing enough, right? Dirk,
Nash, they let Nash go.
They let Nash go, I understand. But I was going to say, shortly into his career, Cuban buys the team. They become like the most cutting. They spend the most money, become the most cutting edge. They are always trying to compete. And when they fell short, some of that early on was kind of on Dirk. And Giannis, the team has made two drastic put all our chips in the middle of the table moves, trading for Drew and trading, obviously, for Dame. Denver's done none of that. None of it. They've just let people walk. And so their path forward is very murky. Like we talked about, maybe they could trade for Durant. If it's not Durant, I looked at all of the guys who they could like match salaries, do what it was. Mm-hmm. I'm certain you can get Paul George. I don't think that's, and maybe you can get Zion. And
that's
then
interesting.
That's right. It's maybe though. Maybe I don't know the New Orleans. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't do that.
And I don't know that works.
And just his injury history.
Right. And so, it would not be at all unreasonable for Joker to say, "Yeah, I want to see what it's like elsewhere." It wouldn't be.
Okay, where does he want to go? That's the thing about someone like Jokic. You have to think about who he is as a person and what he wants. And basketball, famously for Jokic, is very much just a job. It just is. He's not set out to take over the world. You know, he's not trying to build a billion-dollar empire. He doesn't want to be like, well, I want to be in LA and do this. And he's not looking like, oh, you know what would be cool? If I could bring a ring to New York for the first time in years. Or I could be a hero, a hero in, for Los Angeles Clippers, right? I can show up the Lakers. Like, he doesn't care about any of that. None. It is so much just a job. If he's happy in Denver, if he enjoys the time that he spends in Denver, the other people that he works with on a more formal basis and also a day-to-day basis, so that's going to include kind of like the suits and ties as well as obviously the coaching staff and all of that. If he feels like he's being treated well, him and his family and whatnot, right? Like he's being treated according to his values and what his expectations are. I just don't, he just doesn't seem to be the type of person who's going to be like, yeah, I like what they're building in Memphis. Let me go there now. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And again, especially when you're not culturally from here, it's such a bigger move to make to kind of just be like, I'm going to go to Memphis now. I'm going to go check. I'm going to go to Memphis. I'm going to join Minnesota. Like, it's just not the way it works. And so, and Nick is saying that Denver Nuggets, like, aren't making moves or whatever. It's like, well, they did. Their GM made mistakes, made bad decisions. And so now they're like, we want a better GM who's going to make better moves. That is the move. And get a coach who they believe will be able to build a better culture, a more hospitable culture, a more productive culture. So yeah, I don't know why we have to be alarmist. I mean, I get why, because media is always trying to just ring the alarm bell nonstop. But to just jump, is Jokic's days numbered in Denver? Like, based off of what, I guess. And like, again, where's Jokic gonna say he wants to go to? Golden State? I mean, like, is he gonna go to LA? Is he gonna be LeBron, Luka, and Jokic? No. Is he gonna go to Philly and play with Embiid? No. New York's not gonna be able to have, like where is he gonna play with Giannis? No. Like, actually going to Golden State probably actually kind of makes the most amount of sense to a degree. And having, just from a basketball entertainment perspective, having Jokic and Steph play with each other, and then going to a great coach like Steve Kerr, like I can see that, just from a basketball perspective. But again, I don't know if Jokic is like, I'm going to go to Golden State. I don't know if he wants to deal with that. He's such a small person in that regard, Jokic, and I mean that, as a compliment, right? He's a lot more reserved in that regard. And in a lot of ways, Denver is pretty much the perfect city like that. It's a very clean, organized. It's very it has the amenities of a great big city, but it also has all of the positives that you get from a more quiet city. I know things have changed a little bit over the years, especially once they started legalizing stuff, and traffic and price of living and stuff like that kind of got a little crazy. But that's not anything that someone like Jokic has to deal with. That's for the more, mortals of the Denver population. But it's a beautiful city. Again, it's not this big, intense, overbearing city like a Philadelphia, like a New York, like a Los Angeles. It's also not a city that feels so small that where you're in the middle of nowhere, like you're out with like Milwaukee, for Giannis and with the Milwaukee Bucks. It's just, to me, Denver, you get a lot of everything, and again, not a lot of drawbacks. Especially if you're mega wealthy. Again, there's obviously going to be some issues if you're living more of a humble life out there. And like I said, I know once they legalize some stuff out there, things got a little crazy with cost of living and apartment prices and all that. Which again, that's not anything that Jokic has to worry about. So I'm pretty sure he's probably pretty immune and probably not even aware of any of those other issues. So I don't think you think Jokic wants to deal with LA life? No. You think he wants to deal with New York life? No. Again, if he was a different personality, then maybe I could see it. If he was just this great player but had a different type of personality and was all about winning and the fame and wants to be the face of the NBA and was trying to build like $1 billion, media empire within America. He has a podcast. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's just not who Jokic is. That's never who Jokic has been. So again, like he pretty much went to the perfect city, I mean, he really did, where he could still win, you could still get some talent there. You're not in no man's land. People would want to go and live and play in Denver. So like I said, it's very desirable. And you don't have a lot of the drawbacks. So, but if he really truly cares, like that's what's so interesting, because all these players want to win, obviously. But again, Jokic is unique. I think it's hard to actually even really fully digest exactly at the end of the day what Jokic wants when it's all said and done. When his career is over and he looks back on his career, what truly will make him feel like it's a job well done? Is it just earning a great paycheck and playing the best he can? Because that might be. It might be like, I'm here to take care of my family. I'm here to work, make as much money as I can, and be the best person I can. Wins and losses come and go. Obviously, I want to win, but you know what? You guys talk about legacy and Hall of Fame. I don't care about that, man. There's no difference in my life whether I have 4 rings or 2 rings. There's no difference in my life whether you want to say that I'm on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA. Like, you think I'm sitting at home overseas watching First Things First Take? Like, I'm not watching that type of stuff. So you don't really at the end of the day even know what he wants, even from a legacy standpoint. And I think it's always hard to really know, because we can go off of what he says, but what these guys say out loud is not always 100% truthful, So it's hard to really know what's truly in his heart at the end of the day. Again, we know he wants to win. We know he's obviously a competitor, but like Steph wants those rings. He wants to build his legacy. LeBron wants those rings. He wants to build his legacy. You know, Kevin Durant wants to prove how great and special of a player he is. Damian Lillard wants that ring. You know, Giannis is trying to build a resume to be like, I am one of the greatest players. Like, he wants that, right? Like, he does care what other people think and say about him. That's not so much clear for me for Jokic. So, which then does technically give it a wild card in terms of like, where will he want to go? You know, will he force himself out? I find it hard to believe, but at the end of the day, you do never know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Nuggets? Do you think Jokic's days are numbered in Denver? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.